Sherman D. Manning, joining you live from Los Angeles, California. Please don't believe the hype. The criminal justice system in America is broken. It is an egregious system that is criminal but doesn't have very much justice. The only folk who get justice are the rich. The rich get richer in this country and the poor get prison, period. If you like, excuse me, I'm sorry, for me to elucidate that point, get the book, The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice. That is what we talk about in that book. The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice. You want to read about Charlie Manson? Did you know that I'm probably, and I thank God for this, I guess I thank him for this, so far as credibility as an author is concerned, I'm probably the only author walking the planet who has ever served time with and communicated face-to-face with that strange guy, Charlie Manson. I was with him just 8 or 9 months ago. We had some very strong, heated debates and arguments, and he even threatened my life on several occasions. Charlie Manson, no joke. And I would venture to guess this. I would venture to guess that I am the only author, and this may not be something to be proud of, y'all, depending on how you look at it, right? I'm probably the only author in the country who has interviewed, talked with, debated with, argued with both Charles Manson and Eric Menendez and Lyle Menendez. And I can name a few more infamous ones. But the most infamous of those would be Charles Manson. And when it comes to Eric Menendez, I know him like a book. I even know his idiosyncratic whims. What a guy. What a guy. You talk about Donald Jr. You talk about a narcissist. You talk about someone who is in love with himself. Eric Menendez. And his brother is not that much better. I remember the first argument I had with Eric Menendez was this. He asked me why I never spoke to him, because I'd been there at the prison with him for, maybe a year or two, and I never said one mumbling word to him. And I explained to him that he murdered his mom and dad, blew their heads off, and if a person's remorseful, as Christians, we must forgive. Might not forget about it, but as Christians, we must forgive. And as a preacher, I'm a master at forgiving and moving on, because I know you ain't got to tell me. I know you can do some bad stuff in your life. And you're talking to or listening to a man who was wrongly convicted of rape. Wrongly convicted. Period. Point blank. Read The Truth About O.J. Simpson and you'll see all about it. You'll read it. And after you read it, if you think I did it, then don't listen to the podcast anymore. I've done a lot of things in my life. That's not one of them. Okay. But my point is, I've done some bad stuff. I said at a church I was preaching at, I think it was over at Kenneth Pitchford's church over at Greater Hopewell. And I told them in the message, I said, I've been a bad boy in my life. I'm talking about Sherman D, y'all. I've been a bad boy. And so I'm a master at forgiving. I know that you can mess up. I know that you can do some stuff that'll shock yourself. Yeah. Okay, I'm the only one. I know ain't nobody in San Jose. Ain't nobody in Phoenix, Arizona. None of you all listening to me in Los Angeles. None of you listening in Vietnam, in Atlanta, Georgia, in Dallas, Texas. None of you in South Carolina. I know nobody in Idaho. I got some listeners in Idaho. Hello, Idaho. I know none of you all have ever messed up so bad that you shocked yourself. It's just me. I get it. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. It's not you. But I'm talking about Sherman now. I'm talking about Sherman. I have messed up and look back and ask myself, how did I mess up? Boy, what was wrong? What were you thinking? How could you even say something like that to somebody? My mama used to say, how could you fix your mouth to say that? I have. Perhaps not you, but I have. And so my point is, I'm a master at forgiving, because I know that you can mess up to the extent that you'll surprise yourself, that you'll shock yourself, that you'll look back and say, did I really do that? Did I really say, was that me? But when you have no remorse, and that's what I found with Eric Menendez and with Lyle Menendez, somebody told me the other day, you should talk about them more, man. People are fascinated by them, blase, blase, blase. Well, I'm not going to build my career as an author, as a speaker, as an evangelist. I'm not going to build it based solely on the infamous devils that I met in prison, okay? I'll talk about them in interviews, etc., but I'm not going to build my career on that. But I will tell you, strange guys. Talk about it some other time, okay? Strange guys. But I told Eric, I said, you murdered your mom and dad, blew your mom's head off, and then you have the audacity to walk around the prison as if you've done the nation a favor. Those are my exact words verbatim to him. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And so, but that opened the door to an eventual line of communication that we exercised quite frequently, but we were not friends. We were never friends. To be quite frank, if you want to know exactly what we were co-workers. And that was one of the problems. The problem is we worked together. I had to see him every day. And it's hard to describe the prison to you, but let me try. They often use terms like pod. They will call it a pod. And it is an area, Lord, how can I describe it? Maybe 300 feet wide and 600 feet long. It contains approximately 100 cells, and that may be an embellishment. I think it's 75 cells. And the area is quite small, and it is a building. And in this particular building, building 7, Folsom State Prison, New Folsom that is, Eric was what's called a porter, and so was I. Porters are nothing but janitors. We kept the building clean. We worked 2 to 10, 2 in the afternoon till 10 at night. Same shift, same building. So it was, we bumped into each other every second. We worked together. We fed together. We cleaned together. And so it's not like we had to talk, never say had, but it was pretty, very inconvenient to not ever say anything. So we talked. And he always knew how I felt about him and about his case and about his crime. If you tell me you're wrongly convicted, I'll give you the benefit of doubt because I know it happens every day. If you tell me you didn't do it, I'll talk with you. I'll pray on it. I'll let my intuitions and my vibe tell me. But if I know you did it and you admit that you did it, then that's a whole different story, especially if there's no remorse. And so that was my problem with him, no remorse. Arrogant, narcissistic, Donald Jr. Okay? I'm going to have to sign off for right now. This is fluid. My situation is fluid. I'm working like a dog, trying to keep putting these podcasts out here. You're doing what you said you would do. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. Please, everybody listening, every single person, each one of you, do me this special favor. Contact 5 new people today and tell them to listen to this podcast. Tell them to get it on demand. 5 new people today. That's what I'm asking you to do. Contact 5 people and tell them about this podcast, and tell them to go to YouTube and look for videos by me, not the audio, videos, about 7 of them now. Tell them to take a look at them, please, and go get a copy of The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice. Read about Charles Manson, Eric Menendez, Lyle Menendez, the broken criminal justice system. Okay, I'm going to sign off for now. Send me an email and tell me you heard this podcast. I need to hear from you today. ShermanDManning@gmail.com. ShermanDManning@gmail.com. Email me today and tell me that you heard it. God bless you. Pray for me here. Tell everybody to listen to this podcast. Tell them to get it on demand. Please attach it to your Facebook page. Let everybody know that we're here. Bye-bye.